Who said you can't go home? Real Estate Exposed, brought to you by Signature Real Estate. Real Estate Exposed is all about helping homeowners and those who would like to be homeowners and those who would like to get into real estate.
Welcome, everybody. I'm back.
She's back.
I heard your intro last week. Boo. That was so perfect. I don't like it.
That wasn't me, but that was too perfect, huh?
Too dang perfect.
I know.
It is not appropriate to be that perfect.
That's how Brandon rolls, though, right?
Yeah, no. So I'm Vandana Bhalla. I'm one of the co-hosts for Real Estate Exposed. And to my right is an empty seat. But to the right of that is Shelly Panzarella, who is the branch manager for Prosperity Lending. Thanks for always being an amazing partner in crime.
My pleasure. Back at ya.
So we actually had a really cool end of month celebration yesterday.
Yeah, I don't know that we intended it to be that way, right?
I don't know. I feel like we always celebrate.
We do always celebrate.
We always celebrate.
We didn't need it to be month ends, but it was a good timing around it.
Perfect timing. I just made it as an excuse so nobody felt jealous about it.
Yeah.
But we all went rural. We all went out. It was you and Val and Brandon and myself and Betamax.
Yeah. So of the 5, 2 did not make it back.
I know.
Brandon and Valerie.
They got a little over extra.
They are a
drunk
little
yesterday.
extra.
But we went to the cutest little place. It's called Get a Gist is the way that they pronounce it. Get a Gist. And I guess it's
Get a Gist?
Yeah, I guess it's different if you pronounce it in French versus
Got a Gist?
American.
Gonna check to see what that even means.
I don't know, but it was a wine bar. So they had charcuterie boards, but they shared an outdoor space with another restaurant where they had these amazing beer. What were they? Beer bread almost.
Pretzel breads.
Pretzel breads.
But they were made out of the grains of the beer.
Yeah. So legit. So
it was legit, actually.
It was legit. Too legit.
To what?
To quit. And so anyway, so we were sitting there, and across the way there's this restaurant called Tacotarian, which is why our show today is called Tacotarian something or the other. But it was because of this place,
and I think we have to tread lightly because I did a survey today, and everybody in the audience who I was surveying all stood up and said, yes, I've been there. It's an amazing place. And we're like, really?
Oh.
Because it's a plant-based taco shop.
Yeah.
Right?
So I think maybe they have got tofurkey for meat for the hot dogs, tacos
for Thanksgiving.
For Thanksgiving, right? No, for tofurkey for the meat. Yeah,
I think it's jackfruit.
But anyway, so that's why our show's called that today, just so I can give you a little bit of background so you're not wondering why the hell did they call that show this.
Yes, because we will be Tacotarians. We should go try it out.
We should. I don't know why we're sitting so far. We expected a guest here today. She's clearly not here.
Yeah.
And
we brought Peeps, though.
We did.
So we got our Peeps here.
We do have our Peeps here today. Tell us a little bit about this.
So I don't know if you remember, but last year they stopped production on Peeps.
No.
Yeah.
How do you have them? Are these a year old?
So these are all... They're actually 2019. So they stopped production of Peeps because some people say because they changed the factory basically to help out with sanitation, the sanitizers.
Okay.
But they brought them back, and so they brought all of their flavors back. And I thought it'd be kind of fun if we did the marshmallow challenge. You know what that is?
Nope.
Taking every single one of these and just shoving it in our mouth to see how many we can eat.
Yep, I'll watch you.
Or we could do a taste.
I do not shove anything in my mouth.
Really?
Definitely not.
That's not what
cotton candy.
So there's multiple flavors. So
maybe Beta will do it.
We could do this as one or the other. I brought the standard, Peeps, which are your little purple, of course, for my color, and then their regular sugar. But I do want to throw out a fact, which I thought was pretty interesting. So
is that the email that you sent me?
They make 2 billion of these things every year. 2 billion Peeps. That's a lot of Peeps.
Do people actually eat them or just give them to people?
So
in hopes that they're going to be eaten?
Well, there is one actually in there for you in a little Easter basket for you. Because some bunny loves you.
Okay.
That bunny's me.
So cute. Okay. How cute are you?
right, back to this regular scheduled program.
Okay, so they make 2 billion of them a year. 2 billion's a lot. It's not a million. It's B with a billion.
Yeah, 2
billion with a B. Oh
Right.
my God.
You ever seen that show?
They're made of, okay, so it says the website that you sent me says that beyond sugar, Peeps are made of corn syrup, a preservative called potassium sorbate, tatrazine, which is a yellow dye. What if it's pink though?
I'm pretty sure it's
gelatin that's derived from oink
pink.
oink.
I know when I saw that, but it's a very, very little amount.
But that's the gelatin. That's how you get the gelatin part.
It's like the casing on
yeah.
sausages.
That sounds delicious. We should totally stuff those in our
Yes.
mouths.
Well, if we don't do it, I do have a group of girls that are willing to do this. Maybe we'll do it as an after show, since we're all trying to watch our girlish figures here, but the younger girls are down for the challenge.
There's like a whole history on them too.
I know, right?
So CNN did a whole history on on Peeps. So if you go Peeps history and type it in, CNN has a whole thing on them. And they used to be originally they used to be marshmallow chicks.
Well, so they're like little birds. So,
So-
yes.
No, but they used to be like with wings.
And it could go like this because I feel like that's
like this.
they have an image of look, it's like a little duck.
Interesting.
Yeah. Little
Okay.
chickie. Little
Okay.
chickies.
All right.
So cotton candy, we've got if you guys want to head on down here to the Signature Real Estate group in the Southwest office, there's like a mad group of agents in here.
There
Maybe
are.
we could have them do a taste test and get sick.
Maybe that's how they get
so can
graduated.
graduate? Yes.
Yeah. So let's talk about the graduation for a minute. So
Okay.
all week, and the
Academy?
all week we've had this thing at our office called that is a shit ton of peeps, Kim.
Yeah,
All
I got a
week
shit ton of peeps.
We've had Academy in our Southwest office, and Brandon has taught it from beginning to end. It's been like 8:30 to 4:30 every day this week. And so the idea is to teach agents who have been in the business for a long time sort of get back to basics, and for brand new agents to this is how you do real estate, and if you do anything less than that, just get the hell out. And so right?
Yes.
I mean,
softer side.
Yeah. That's me. That's my softer side.
Yes.
And so he's been teaching this academy, and I have an agent from my team who's actually in it, and every day she sends me something funny about, like yesterday was Brandon's picture that he
Are we going to talk about that on Exposed?
So Brandon's picture that he posted, she, I guess, showed it to her daughter, and her daughter was like, that looks like the birds and bees. Like, is he trying to explain sex ed to you guys? What's going on?
I mean, real estate, sex ed, they kind of go together.
Same.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's how I explain birds and bees to my children.
I just learned it.
So we are aware. We've all taught your daughter. Don't worry.
Yeah,
She knows what's happening.
No.
And so every day, she'll send me a picture. Your daughter's sitting here, and that's what she's saying no to. Where did Beta go? He just left us.
We got lighting, we got video cameras. We don't need anybody else but us. That's cool.
He's
I'm down
like,
with
they
that.
got this. No big deal. Okay. So also,
So the
that was
picture,
that.
birds and the bees. You're not going to finish the story. What it looked like, or it's kind of hard without it.
It was it was a man, and then it was like
AM,
an arrow
PM, baby.
going in, and then an arrow going out, and it was meant for leads coming in, listings going out. I think
It had the AM and PM version on it. So, but it
was
looked-
all night long,
it was
all day
night
long,
all night, all night. Okay,
So
we're taking it to a whole nother level without
Yeah.
our ghost host today.
with our ghost host, we had 2 hosts, and both of them flaked on us.
Seriously, that's what happens
But
when we
you know
do
what?
month-end celebrations.
It's also okay because we got this.
we got this for sure.
Unlike you guys last week. So I did.
Oh, that's gonna leave a mark. Wait, so let's go back to the academy because I think that's pretty.
Oh, they're
cool.
graduating today.
That's pretty cool though for an owner of a company, right?
Yeah.
To literally give up a whole week of his time.
It's a lot of time.
There were 40 agents that
I don't know.
in attendance, and I think not only, but 37 of them actually made it through graduation, and the ones that didn't make it all the way through, it was because of some family issues that they had to kind of not attend. But I think that's pretty cool for him to be able to spend that much time with them.
Yep.
That's for an agent
It's a
in an
big deal.
office, that is a big deal.
Yeah.
And then also for them to be able to, for those of them that are new, they get to kick off their career, which I don't know if everybody realizes this, but rookies of the year come out of that class,
Yeah.
right? Every single one of your rookies of the year have
think so.
attended.
I think so.
And then one of them is inbred, but whatever.
Inbred. He's going through it now.
Exactly.
For the second time.
He has to go backwards. Since you're Rookie of the Year, we can't mess this up.
Yeah.
You have to go back.
No, that's not true.
No.
I think
he
he's done it before.
For sure.
He
probably created the book.
He didn't done it.
He done it.
He done it.
He done it.
He done it. So
Who done it?
who done it? So that's the
Dana's
academy.
just laughing at
and then
us.
there's
He's
graduation.
Like, these girls are going. Yeah, maybe we could get done before 2:00.
No, well, we have to be. No, we won't be done because they've got graduation at 2:00. And I was like, hey, if you do graduation at 2:30, I don't know if you remember, but we have a show until 2:30. So maybe you hang tight until then and let us attend. Right. So I don't know what he finally decided about that. Either way, it doesn't matter.
The show is going on, is what he said.
The show is going on.
Yep.
So I did want to say that I watched the stats, and Brandon did not do them correctly, but it's
he
okay.
Didn't?
He did not.
I kind of gave him some guidance, but I have no idea what that guidance
So here's
was.
here's the thing about stats, right? You can make them say or whatever you want them to say, right? Mm-hmm. You can pull stats based off of certain areas. You can pull stats based off of the entire state or whatever we have available in the MLS, which is usually how I do it. It's just here's what it is, right? Or you can pull stats. What's going on?
You're just listening to stats,
okay.
Yeah.
Or well, I also understood that you both tune out except for the time that you say 3.2.
Wait, are we there?
No. So
we usually start off with that.
And then you have stats that you can pull, like we did with Casey.
I wasn't here.
Yeah. So when we had Casey Ryan on the show, he was like, I only pull stats for all of Las Vegas. So you do the areas from 101 to whatever it is, 606. Okay. So what I was saying is you can pull the stats whichever way you want. So last week you had about 900 sales, right? This week we have 1,263 that have sold. Now here's the thing, like I said, you can pull the stats from pretty much anywhere to say anything, right? But when I did it until the end of month, so I do stats every week and they end on Thursday. I'm actually going to start doing them so that we get them for the Sunday so that on Monday it's brand new. But we have about 2.3 weeks of inventory, which has gone down. Because last week it was 2.4 weeks of inventory.
Oh, I was close.
The week before, I know I heard. The week before it was 2.1 weeks of inventory.
Oh, it was lower. Okay.
Right, so it was lower. So we're right in that 2.0 to 2.5 weeks of inventory is what we've been sort of teetering on. Our average weekly sales price. Now, so there's an average weekly and there's a median weekly sales price, right? And so the associations always look at the median price, whereas we look at average. I look at average. I think that makes a little bit more sense sometimes, but I also understand why they do the median. But the average is 441,257. Well, that went down.
441?
But that went down from last week.
Oh, because you've been giving median numbers.
I've been doing, I've been giving median numbers. Okay. Correct. And then you have days on market has been 37. So from beginning to end. So that's how long it's been taking homes to sell. So that's been like what I've had in the last few weeks.
And how many of those are having appraisal issues?
I don't know. You tell I'm sorry. That's where you come in. I have no idea.
That would be a good stat to
It would be a good stat. So we had weekly sales last week have gone up, right? Since now, remember, I'm doing those numbers until the end of March. However, if I look at today's numbers, they've gone up already by 400 more homes that have sold. If that makes sense. And it also depends, again, the areas that you're looking at, right? So
but these are the same you've pulled from the beginning of your show.
Correct. We have about 762 brand new listings in the last 7 days. That's a lot of listings, but also not a lot considering that we have 15,000 realtors.
And we're selling, you said, what was 1,000 something was
So
last
we
week?
sold 1,263.
Yeah, so we're not putting more, we're not putting less than,
Correct.
So that 2.4 will actually probably go down, right? Next week if we keep.
You know what fascinates me though? The one stat that fascinates me, and I'll get to our game in a minute. So just hang tight. I know you're dying to say 33.2.
3.2. I'm gonna mix it up. It's Easter. It's April.
So you're gonna do 3.21.
Yeah.
So we have what I think is interesting to me is the homes that expired. 183 homes expired on the MLS in the last week. 183
So
homes.
that means they went through contract listing and
there was a listing agreement. That listing agreement ended, and now that property has expired. So there's no so either it's going to be relisted or which is interesting to me because those are potential sellers that aren't on the MLS that you could go talk to about selling their home. And potentially increase the inventory for yourself, right? If you're looking specifically for a buyer. So I would pull, if I was anybody, I would pull those or even the withdrawns and just see what's out there, because those are sellers that wanted to sell.
Yeah.
They either were pissed off at their agent or something. But I will tell you that there are approximately 183 homes that expired, of which they range from 78,000 to 2.775. So 2,775,000. So there's an array of homes, a total range of homes within our expired list that we could go to.
And just so I understand, an expired isn't something that actually went into contract, fell out, or could it be that same?
It could have been, but no, that's not how it shows up here. It means that there was a listing agreement. The listing agreement ended, and now that listing agreement has expired, and so it's no longer available on the MLS.
Got it.
Right?
Yeah.
That seller didn't renew their listing agreement with that agent. So these are sellers that at some point wanted to buy.
Yeah.
Or wanted to sell, sorry.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But that could also mean that there's 183 people that wanted to sell and now aren't considering it because they've got nowhere to go.
Could be that.
It could be that. It could be, that
I'm in one of those boats. Where will I go?
You're
in one of those homes.
You better stop it right now.
No, really.
No.
You didn't buy that big mansion that I wanted you to buy so I could live in one of the bedrooms.
Yeah, sure.
With my
I'm
husband.
not the one that can do that. That's Brandon. Brandon has to buy it.
I got sold too.
Also, shame on both of you for printing out our logo and sticking it on some random cups.
Literally, that was Haley. No, Brandon's assistant's amazing. We're like, hey, can we do this? And boom, it came out. Or maybe it was beta.
I know, but how funny you guys thought that you would get away with it. Because
Real deal.
First I was like, oh shit, they took over my show. And then as I screenshot and looked closer, I was like, these sons of monkeys.
We're crafty. I know.
Oh, no.
However we can get it done. That's just how we do business.
Yeah, well.
Just kidding.
Clearly,
that's how we do it.
Clearly, you cheated
Thanks
the
to Haley.
system.
Did you print them, Haley? She's not saying anything. She
not
knows how Hammer Time works.
I know. She's like, I'm not messing with that. So, all right. Are you ready?
Yes.
For the game?
Let's go.
All right. Sold. Recently sold homes in the last 7 days. The least expensive was
$68,000.
$51,000.
Wow. Where was that?
Did mix it up.
I am.
Oh, do you really want
I'm
to know?
gonna change it up a little bit.
Do you really want to know?
3.2 is too boring.
Okay. It's Warm Springs Reserve off of Green Valley in Warm Springs.
Condo?
It is it's a home. It's a single
What?
family.
Get
Wait.
out.
Hold, please. Nope. Did I screw that up?
I think you did. What?
Oh my God! It was listed at $519,900, and it sold for $51,000.
That sounds like a major inside job.
It's not, but
That's wrong.
what?
So there
I
is
wonder if
data
they just put an
integrity?
extra zero.
They missed it. So technically, it's a 500,000 house.
I think it was a 51,000. No, it started at 519,000, and I think it meant to be a 51,000, and that's what it sold for. I think they screwed up and added an extra zero. If I pull,
Could you imagine how would that search ever be? How would they have ever found that house for a buyer who's looking under 100,000?
Right? That's crazy. That's a beautiful home. They screwed that up.
They missed the zero?
They missed a zero on
the
the sales
sale.
price.
Okay.
Has to be, because I'm looking at that house. There's no way.
Because you're like, damn it, how come I didn't buy
How
it
did I
for
miss that, right?
$55,000?
No way.
I would have gone $5,000 over price value.
Oh, that's not okay. I'm sending an alert.
What does that mean?
An alert means that they did it incorrectly. They screwed something up, and so I want them to fix it, because, like you said, data integrity extremely important, right? Am I going to do that right now? Maybe. But let me
Sure. Just do your commissions and do all that other stuff right now. Prove all your things.
So let's see what the next one is. It's actually 59,000 is the next sold, right? So you were pretty close to that.
Yeah.
And that's off of Maryland and Sahara.
Condo?
It was a
Maryland.
condominium.
Yeah.
Yes. It was a condominium.
So see, we can still get into condos under 100,000.
Correct.
That everybody's been saying that they're all over 100.
So funny story. I was watching the show with my kids in the car, and so there was
This show?
Yes, and so there, because I like to watch.
You're critiquing
for
us?
last week. Yes,
just to
I
make
was
sure you're
watching.
staying up on our.
Correct.
Why weren't you watching us live?
Because I was in the middle of stuff. I was doing things.
You were off the grid.
I was off the grid.
We know you're secretly on there as one of our 100,000 viewers.
Yeah. No, it was totally off the grid. Okay. So what I did was I watched, and I was laughing because Brandon asked, like, hey, what's the highest priced, right? And you said
3.2.
3.2. And he said, no. He said times 2 plus 100,000.
And nobody could figure it out.
Well, times 2 would make it 6.4 plus 100,000 would make it 6.5, but it was actually
7.4.
correct. So the math was wrong, and the kids and I were laughing because we're like, wait a second, that doesn't add. So it's
nobody else picked it up, but
I did.
Yeah.
That's my job.
Exactly.
Okay, so then
3.2.
let's do... No. It was actually 5.6.
Where was
But
that?
I will tell you, the next highest price, so the second almost highest priced, was 3.7.
Get out.
Yeah.
We are getting closer.
So much closer.
Not at all.
Yeah.
I got to change up that number.
But how cool is that? So 7 point... What did I say?
Wait, no, you said 5.
5 point, yeah, sorry. I was like, what did I say? It was 5.6 million, and that was not an inside job, but it was off of DI and Flamingo. In Summerlin.
In Flamingo?
In the Ridges. In the Ridges. In the Ridges.
Desert
Over in the Ridges.
Yeah.
In Summerlin.
I got it. I know where the Ridges are.
Just checking.
I just didn't know DI was up there.
Yeah.
DI and Flamingo.
DI and Flamingo. In the Ridges.
Got it.
Are we there?
Is it yes.
We're all together?
Got it. I'm on you. I'm on that page now.
All right, perfect. Yeah, so that was that.
How many days on market?
Gosh, you never asked me that.
I
It
know.
was on the
Darn it.
market. Days on market 123 days. 166
What?
total from listing to close though.
Wow. So typically for a contract, what is it, like 6 months before our listing? Is it 6 months or like can you do a 30 day?
So for higher end properties like the high end 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever, those sometimes are 2 years.
What?
Yeah. I
Wow.
will tell you that I had a home that was a little bit overpriced about 6 months ago, and we barely had any showings. Now it's like nonstop.
Yeah.
Put it back on the market. It's
This has
nonstop.
been crazy. This
Yeah.
whole market. I mean, just thinking about what happens if there's not. I mean, we do actually get into like 1 week
Zero
of
inventory.
Zero inventory. What?
Yeah.
Does that mean we all go on vacation?
Well, I'm not going to be able to afford a vacation if there's zero
True,
inventory.
true.
Let's put that out there for a minute.
True.
I don't think we'll ever get there unless everybody just decides, you know what, screw it. I'm not selling a house. I'm not buying a house. We're not doing anything until the market corrects itself and there's enough people that want to sell and want to buy, right? Because right now we have an influx of buyers, but not enough sellers that are looking to sell. Who asked me yesterday? Somebody. I'll admit, I had hangout scheduled with us.
Oh my gosh, we're going to bring that up today. So just in case you don't know, Vandana's schedule is so super packed that when you decide that we get the privilege to hang out with her,
Whatever.
little do we know that we're only on increments. So friend package A gets to go from 4 to 5:30.
Okay, I'm going to clear that shit up for a second because you told me you were only available till 5:30 because you wanted to be home with your daughter. And I
yeah.
said, okay, fine. So we scheduled it till 5:30.
Okay.
And then I
There's
scheduled
always
to
a
meet.
a
I was
lag.
like, I'm already out. And I very rarely go out to downtown.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to see if I have another group of friends that want to hang out with me afterwards. Because if I'm out and I've gotten dressed and I put on makeup and I did my hair and blah,
Which
blah,
you did
blah.
look pretty cool. Pretty hip, yeah. I like
Uh-huh.
it, yeah.
So then I figured I might as well just have other friends to hang out with. I didn't know you guys were going to stick around. But let me tell you a little story about what happened.
That was pretty funny, actually.
You guys all stuck around, and so I had 2 tables of people. The second table, remember I came back to hang out with you guys?
Because we're cooler.
Okay. So
Sorry to all of our other
we
friends on
came-
table 2.
I came back to hang out with you guys. I come home after the night, and I go through my purse, and they left me little notes everywhere.
You actually
Dirty
let them,
ass notes everywhere.
You
Like,
gave them access to your. I don't know
didn't
what was
want
inside of
to.
that damn purse. You were like,
So I usually don't carry my purse with me. In fact, it's usually just this and that's it. It's my phone. It's got my credit cards, everything, right? And then yesterday I was like, I'll just take my purse because we were in downtown. I didn't want to leave it in the car. I don't even know why I brought it, but whatever. I did. And so
because you had to carry your freaking taser in that big ass purse.
because we were going to downtown. And so I'm not block listing, red listing, whatever it's called.
Redlining.
That thing. But I had my purse with me and I left it with them. I'm like, is it going to be okay? I can't hear myself. That just
We're
got
still
weird.
good, right?
Did you cut us off again, Beta? Hey, audience, can you still hear us? Let us know
Thumbs up.
if we're still okay. I get 1 thumbs up. I think that one's Beta. But so we had But we also have other listeners. I want them to tell me if we're on, if they can hear us. So I get home and I shit you not, there is beyond belief. There are a ton. I mean, like 30 little notes in different places in my purse, in my front pocket, in the inside pocket, in the inside pocket. There's other pockets. There's like my purse or my wallet inside my purse, and then my sunglass case that was inside it. And then, I mean, it didn't matter. If it could open, they stuck some shit in there.
So I have one question on that. I can't hear myself.
I can't hear you either, Shelly.
Are we okay? So where do we? Yeah,
I'm gonna do this too because it's frustrating me. All right, what?
So who carries the Post-it notes?
It wasn't. So I did a thing. We had envelopes. Somebody wrote, like a gratitude letters or whatever, and so there were envelopes on the table, and that's what they used was the envelopes.
That's sweet. Wait, so you guys all brought gratitude stuff? Is that what you guys did at your? You guys are cool.
I know.
We didn't have any of that.
No,
shit.
we
didn't plan that for us either.
No, I didn't. I didn't plan that for them either.
Oh, they did it themselves.
It happened. Yeah,
we were just grateful to be in fun in his presence from 4 to 5:30.
So anyway, so there was that. That was.
So did you bring any of the little love notes?
No, because they're inappropriate.
It's freaking exposed.
They're extremely inappropriate.
Seriously.
They're inappropriate for exposed.
We've had some pretty inappropriate conversations.
Inappropriate.
Give
for
us
exposed.
one little Post-it note conversation.
Nope.
I'll break it down for you guys next time.
I have pictures of all of it, but I will not break it down. I will not.
You have pictures on that little phone of yours?
Yeah. All right, let's talk about real estate.
Let's do it.
I mean, we're halfway through the show. Can we?
I can't even believe it.
All we did was talk about market updates.
That's real estate, right?
No, it is.
Okay.
All right, so talk about real estate. What's going on?
So I thought it was kind of cool being downtown, and I mean for Las Vegas real estate. The bartender, also talked a little bit about where he lives. So he lived in the Ferguson community.
That's right. You were so impressed.
Yes, I'm going to go back and
Shelly got hot for that.
Totally, because he lives in a tiny home.
She was excited.
There's a whole community
of tiny homes.
Right, and they're building a whole community of tiny homes.
Why are you laughing over there, Sydney?
Sydney, we could each have our own tiny home. This is like a genius idea for families. After further discovery, it maybe not was the tiny home. It was actually not an Airstream either. It was a motel in the Ferguson Hotel.
Wait, what?
Yeah, that's what I thought too. Remember, he came back. So the conversation was totally different when I was talking to him in the bar, and then he came out with all of us.
Ferguson tiny homes.
Yeah. But you mentioned that there's actually a community. I think he called it.
So they're building a bunch of Heather Glen.
Heather Glen.
Yeah, there's a bunch of over in that area, but Ferguson's downtown has a variety of tiny homes. But have you been to Container Park out there?
Mm-hmm.
So Container Park, right? They're all containers that sit on top of each other, and essentially tiny homes are built some of them out of containers, right? No. Okay, no. I don't know anything about it. I don't live in tiny homes.
Nobody will
it's
let
not
me
my thing.
Build my she shed. Nobody will let me build my tiny home.
You can. You can do whatever you want.
Because you could wheel those things around. Maybe I should just have a tiny home mortgage company.
Yeah.
Building.
Can you
big
imagine?
dreams
You don't know how to
reality.
drive now. Can you imagine having to lug that thing around?
I know how to drive. My car drives for me.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
No. I've met you. So there was an article by NAR that said existing home sales descend 6.6% in February. Now we're in March.
Sales.
What did I say?
Yeah, no. I'm just trying to make sure you weren't saying price.
No, sales. Yeah. Existing home sales fell 6.6% in February to a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 6.22 million, but sales are still 9.1% higher than last year. How is that possible if we have no inventory? I mean, that just blows my mind. If we have no inventory, how are sales up? How are we still higher?
Did you say down?
Okay, I'll do this again.
One more time.
Existing home sales fell 6.6% in February to a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 6.22 million, but sales are still 9.1% higher than last year. So I think it might have been a decrease from month to month, is what they're saying, but not from year to year.
So were we actually, I thought we were higher this year than we were in 2020. Because leading into
Brandon, what do you think?
March. Thought I read that somewhere too.
What?
Brandon's at the graduation. Are you doing graduation?
Yeah, it's supposed to be now at 2. Maybe he delayed it. So it says existing home sales declined in February following 2 prior months of gains, according to NAR's month over month. Only one major region saw an increase in February, but all 4 U.S. regions recorded year-over-year gains. Region, not region. Total existing home sales, completed transactions that include single-family townhomes, condominiums, and co-ops, decreased 6.6 from January to a seasonally adjusted annual rate of 6.22 million in February. Now that makes sense. So it was from the month before. Are you looking at the same article?
I am, actually. I think it's kind of crazy because he's saying the market is still outperforming pre-pandemic. So,
which is crazy.
Right. So we thought it was busy, right?
Last year,
right.
yeah.
But we're actually doing better than we did last year.
Interesting.
Right?
Which fascinates me because we have less inventory, which means buyers, there's not as many. I mean, like people are making videos about how
crazy the market is.
How like their buyers' offers got rejected again. Like they think that shit's funny. It's not funny. I mean, I'm sure your buyers don't think it's funny.
No.
Yeah.
And there's got to be thousands of those.
Yeah.
Like what do you think the highest number of offers are on a property, one single property?
So I actually got an email from somebody, or I think it was even posted on our agent's of signature page, was 62 offers on a property in that $300,000 range. Yeah.
300,000?
Yeah.
That's insane. And then people it's not cash too, because I actually had something that showed that 22% of the country is cash sales. Which I thought that would be higher, right?
Yeah.
Not necessarily here, but
yeah.
only 22%.
Well, and there's a lot of people, like I have an agent on my team. I met with her yesterday and she was saying, she's like, I got my offer accepted. And she goes, we weren't even the highest priced. We weren't even like blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, how the hell did that happen? You know, she was, and they weren't cash, right? So I said, how the hell did that happen? And she said, well, it was because they had the same last names as like somebody who they knew that passed away that reminded them.
Get
and
out.
Blah, blah, blah. Yeah.
For the seller?
Yeah.
Wow.
So
It goes to
crazy.
show you it's not just highest and best, right?
No, not necessarily. I mean, they put in their highest and best, but it wasn't the highest that was out there. I mean, I had a seller that told me that, you know, he wanted to sell a home to a specific family because they reminded him of his brother that passed away and that was his house.
Really?
Yep. Which is also, by the way, a fair housing violation.
I was going to say, is that not?
Yeah.
But I mean, is it really that if it's the seller making that decision?
It's not me. It's the seller. I explained to him why that was, you know, going to possibly be problematic, and he was like, "I understand. I'd still want to sell to them.
So
do whatever it takes to get them the house." And I
the
went,
seller would have been like, let's just say this went down to whatever real estate judges. The seller
Real
could have
estate
actually
judges.
been it could have been an issue for him because of fair housing.
Yeah. It's a federal law. It's federal fair housing laws.
So they don't really have the ability to just pick, I just want to use because she's got pink hair.
Yeah.
They don't have
No,
it.
pink hair is not a protected class.
Oh, because she's got...
So pink hair is not
Because
a
she's
protected
a
class.
woman.
But for a woman, for having a family, for national origin, for, I mean, like...
Sex, gender, yeah.
Yeah, all of that.
Got it.
There's a
I
whole
didn't
video
realize
on
that.
it. I have a video I did, by the way, on all of this. It's on my YouTube channel.
You should bring
Realtor
it to life. You
Vandana.
should post it on our Real Estate Exposed.
I can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could totally do it. So I did a video on it that I posted, and I'm going to redo it because I didn't like how close up the camera was. Then the lighting was off, so we're going to redo it.
I just think that's crazy how a seller can actually get in trouble, but you guys can also get in trouble for...
No, because I explained it to him, and I have it in writing that I explained it to him, like, hey, this is a fair housing violation. And so here's the thing, like, we get in trouble for stuff like mainly in, and maybe I don't want to have this discussion, but mainly in in property management. So property management is where we see that being a huge problem. Well, I don't want anybody with children in my house. I don't want anybody with a dog. I don't care if it's even an ESA, right? Which is an emotional support animal. So that's where we really see a lot of people breaking fair housing laws, right? I will tell you that I've very clearly explained to clients that if that's what you're going to do, I will not, I'm not the right property manager for you, right?
That's cool.
And so
Hammer time.
so I've negated that. On the sale of this home, I explained to him that this was not that it wasn't possible to pick them based on the fact that they were a family or that they were going to have children or whatever. And he was like, you've got to do whatever it takes to get it for them. And I said, well, let's look at the offer and see, right? Let's look at all of the offers and just base it off of the offers. So we reviewed every single one of them. I took out the names of the offers. And so that's how I adjusted for it, right? And so he said, well, I want this much for the house. And I said, okay. So then, we went back to all of the buyers and said, this is what he's asking. And so they ended up actually getting the house because they were able to come up with the extra cash. And so that happens, right?
And that's okay though, because it's a net number. You're not really discriminating.
So it's not discriminating. But I had to have that discussion with him up front because he was like, no, it has to be these people because of the fact that they're having a family and my brother really loved kids and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, we're not playing that game.
Yeah. Well, that's almost on the flip side where everybody was saying, oh, send in your love letters, right?
Yeah.
That's the reason why those love letters are really not.
So the love letters, like the buyers can send them all day, all night. They can send love letters without a problem. It's the seller who will get in trouble for it, because if you're a buyer and I'm a buyer and crazy. Someone else is a buyer and they say, well, I picked Vandana because she's got a family and 2 kids and she's a single mother, blah blah blah, and you're pissed off now because you lost out on a home because they discriminated against you.
So
it's a familial then you can sue them, right? It's a familial status discrimination. Yeah. It's we're both Asian, so I guess that doesn't matter. Could be national origin, but whatever. Do you see what I mean?
I do. Yeah. That's crazy though. I don't know why I always thought it was going to be on the agent who would be kind of walking a seller through that.
It could be if the agent is the one that says, yeah, that sounds like a great idea. Let's pick Vandana because she's a single mother and she has 2 kids, right?
Right.
Then I would be to blame. Now that's how I controlled that other situation was, look, here's all the offers based off of just the numbers and the closing dates and what they're willing to do on appraisal contingencies and all of that. And then we just adjusted, and the one who picked the adjustments that made sense for the seller is the one who won. It just happened to be these people.
Got it.
Right. And now it became a conversation about the numbers. It became a conversation about net. It became It wasn't a conversation about the family.
Right. Yeah. That makes sense.
Yeah. So, and I think that's really important.
So speaking on property management, what's going on with this eviction moratorium?
So I posted a video yesterday, not an April Fool's joke, by the way, that the eviction moratorium was in fact extended until the end of May.
But he did say this is it, right?
Yeah, he said it last time too. So he did, because he said that when we started vaccinating people, right, then we could go back to real lives, and then we would not extend this eviction moratorium. So some people did expect it and some people didn't. We were working towards maybe some other ways that this could work. Unfortunately, it didn't matter. I think what chaps my hide on this one is that with this extension, not only did he extend it till extend it until the end of May, but he said that as a landlord and a property manager, you have to provide a specific notice to the tenants, and that notice must state how they can apply for assistance. Totally on board with that, right? But it must also provide a blank copy of the CDC declaration.
So that they can fill it out and
send it back to you. So landlords are now required to send over a form that says, hey, tenants, you can live in my property for free, and here's how you do it.
Wow. That's crazy.
I'm very, very much against that. I don't think that that's fair. I think that I've been talking about it for months, and I think that it makes sense to have the tenants provide some form of financial certification that shows that they have a hardship, just like you would with a short sale, right? Yeah. I mean, they don't just approve short sales because you sign something. And he said, well, it's under penalty of perjury. I'm like, oh yeah, because we have no liars in this country. Like, seriously?
Is it not notarized? Because then that makes it real.
No.
No?
No. It's not notarized either, but also not real. They just have to sign it and send it over to the landlord or take it to court. So it could be the very last day that you had to court. Wow. So, we have our property management division. She's like, well, it doesn't even make sense to send notices at this time. I'm like, of course it does. We still have to follow the process. We still follow the process, right? Mm-hmm. But yes, we provide it to them. If they don't fill it out and they don't understand it, I think and I just don't understand where that came from. I don't get it. I mean, our property rights, would you as a landlord want to provide rental properties right now? Never mind. I'm not asking.
I'm in it. So I guess if I were, I wouldn't actively go and honestly, so we've thought about selling our house, right? And I'm, but
where would you go?
where would I go? The other part would be, do I really want another tenant? Because I'm now in that same situation where we have my tenant.
Yeah.
And she actually applied for CHAPS. She's had a hard time in the process. She's like, I just got an email that says I have to do something else. And so she's gone through that. That started in January.
Yeah.
Right. And so it's taken her 90 days just to get a response back. Fortunately, she got the stimulus.
Oh, she did?
She got the stimulus fund, so she did send us money for that. But the process for that CHAPS, I mean, she's the one that initiated the whole CDC. She sent that over to us immediately. We haven't done anything as far as like officially following the process because she's been a good tenant for the last few years. But for our current home, that's the one thing that's kind of held me back because it could be an amazing rental for us.
Yeah.
But I would be nervous that this same process would go on, you know?
Yep.
So, and then I don't have any other place to go. So.
Well, and so I know I make it sound like, oh my God, this is the worst thing on the planet, right? Yes, it sucks. Yes, it's horrible. But I also want to put into perspective that about 10% of the tenants are not paying rent right now.
Wow.
10% is not a lot, right? I mean, that's, if you look at 1,000 properties, yes, I guess that is a lot, but 10% is not a shit ton that you have to be like scared of,
it
right?
Wasn't like it was before, right?
There are some tenants that are suffering or taking advantage of the situation, and those who are taking advantage of it, it doesn't matter what they sign or don't sign. They're crooks, right? Because they're just taking advantage of the system. Like, I wholeheartedly believe that people who do that are inappropriate human beings, right? And it's just who I am. That's fine.
Yeah.
You don't agree with me? That's totally fine. That's my personal opinion.
The views and opinions of us here on Real Estate Exposed
are those of just us, right? And then there's people who are truly suffering, right?
Yeah.
And they're the ones that are like, hey, I don't mind sharing my financials with you so you can see where I'm at and blah, blah, blah. It's the other ones, the crooks, as I call them, that don't want to share any information.
Well, I actually have, looking at on the flip side, because, landlords can take forbearance as well.
Yeah.
I have a friend who's afraid that her tenant or her landlord is actually taking forbearance and that the house will at some point go into foreclosure, even though she's been paying religiously.
Right.
That's a fear from the tenant standpoint.
That's right. You were telling me about that recently.
That's her biggest concern. And she's like, remember back in the day, they used to have like a site you could go check to see if maybe it was a notice of default site. But in the cases of forbearance, there's no notice of default. It is not in default.
Right.
But at some point when that forbearance is done in the agreement, they have to go into an agreement. They're going to have to figure out what to do, right?
Right.
So for a landlord who's taken this forbearance option, that tenant who's been paying, they kind of could get screwed if that landlord can't do anything about their loan.
Agreed.
So
right.
It's kind of a crazy.
Well, in that forbearance, there's a fee that's been assessed that also has to be paid. That like even those landlords that are looking to sell their properties, they have to pay off the loan plus all of these fees that get initiated when they started that forbearance process. So it's not like they owe just the dollar amount on their principal. It's now gone up, right? And there's going to be interest and so on and so forth. Yeah, I know it's frustrating, but
on both sides, I think. That's going to be the crazy part about it.
Yeah. So I think about it, and of course we're being a little bit more vigilant and diligent in the tenants that we pick or that we provide to our landlords. We're having real conversations with them about, look, this person is already $50 lower than our 3 times the amount of income that we require. Do you really want to take this? Yeah. So if a property is being rented, let's say for $2,000, that tenant must have $6,000 in income for the month in order to qualify. Now, if they're at $5,500, that's $100 less, right?
Yeah.
Do you want to risk it for that? They look good on paper for everything else, but what if they 1 month can't afford it, right? And so those landlords are asking for extra deposits just because they're being a little bit more careful.
So as a landlord, could you ask for like a year in advance or 6 months?
I had one that did.
You can. Okay.
Yeah,
so
it was
that's not.
We don't love to do that because God forbid something happens. Like for instance, we had somebody who paid 6 months up front, and so that it was completely paid for. And about month 4, there was water damage in the property, and they couldn't live in the home. Like we had to shut off the water. We had to do a full reno. in the property, wait for the insurance company. And like, luckily he had a great insurance company that was like, go ahead and do the work and just send us the receipts. Like, yes, there's officially a problem here. We can take care of it. It wasn't like we had to wait for the adjuster for 3 weeks right?
Yeah.
So we got it done within a month and a half, right? We got those repairs taken care of within a month and a half. But for that month and a half, that tenant didn't pay rent, and we had to provide him a place to stay.
But most landlord insurance policies have
Cover some form of right. Well, this one
loss
didn't. But they got it done fairly quickly, which
Yeah,
was
that's
good because it could have taken 3 to 4 months,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And so for that, it was just like, oh God, we have this money now, and the tenant was like, I want out of my lease,
Oh,
right? And the landlord said, nope, you want out of your lease, that's fine. You're not getting any of your money back.
yeah.
And I'm like, you can't do that. It's just, but here we are. It's
Well,
fine.
nobody would have
He
known
ended
about
up
that
staying,
in the
but
house. Yeah.
yeah, he ended up
And
staying
he
in the
didn't
house.
prepay anything more than that. He
No.
went on his payments.
No, he's probably going to do his 1 year and be like, bye.
Yeah. But I'm wondering if most landlords now, as I was saying that, I'm like, that actually wouldn't be horrible if we did that and we decided to sell. I just still don't have any place to go. But if I decided to rent my home,
Yeah.
I would probably be that landlord that would want to have at least 6 months to a year of rental.
You're too emotionally invested in it. You should just
Me.
hand it over to a property manager.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Give all my
Not do-
money away? Yeah. Just kidding.
I'm sorry,
just
what?
Kidding. I'm just kidding.
Owner will carries from now on for everybody. What?
I'm just kidding.
Ew. So we've lost our audience. We've lost beta. Nobody's
We got 10
here.
minutes. I
We've
guess
got
we're doing the marshmallow challenge by ourselves. Gonna get sick.
So you also sent an article about Lennar and how they announced $4 billion in single-family rental platform with
crazy, right?
Centerbridge Partners as a lead investor, and that is kind of nuts. Now that's across the nation.
Yeah.
So I think that's kind of cool though, because they're providing here's the thing. I'm going to tell you that there are a lot of sellers that just no longer want to be landlords, right? There's a lot of landlords that no longer want to be landlords. And so they're going to be selling, which means there's going to be a shortage of rental properties available for tenants. And so something like this is phenomenal. But I will also tell you that it is because of the rental properties like apartment complexes and so on and so forth that are causing our major legislative issues now, where landlords are being hit with more and more like
mom
restrictions.
and pop landlords.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So what they do is and we talk about this all the time, but during legislative sessions, they look at properties, like they look at landlord tenants as a whole, and they basically lump together commercial, residential, single-family homes, and multifamily homes together. And so all three of those are considered when you're looking at legislative updates or when you're looking at changing the legislation for landlord-tenant stuff. But if you compare the multifamily and the single-family, they're not the same.
Yeah, I agree. 100% agree.
Right? And
Yep.
so because they're not the same, it's hard to have one blanket law for all of them. But for whatever reason, our legislatures will not change it.
But that's been that way
Legislatures.
forever.
I know, but I wish, yeah, but there's, just because we've done it like that
I
forever
agree.
doesn't mean
Yeah.
we do it like that forever
That's the
again
ham
and
and the
again
pan
and
story,
again.
right?
Yeah.
I feel like that's been, I agree with you on that.
We can make some changes. Did you have a question?
They're graduating now.
That's awesome. They're
Aw,
graduating. So congratulations.
you need to go
Can we
hang out. We
do
got 10
should we do like a walk around the office to the graduation for our show? Is that something that you can
Beta,
do?
Can you pull that off? No.
Oh,
Next
well,
time.
So I'm sorry, Beta can't make it work. Otherwise, you guys
But-
could have seen our graduation. But maybe we'll post some videos.
And to all
in the chat
the
there for-
all the Academy attendees and those who went, and Brandon.
Congratulations, you guys.
Congratulations.
But before we go, did you have an update on rates?
So I've decided I'm going to do this weekly snapshot of rates where we are today, so that our agents and our buyers who are watching the show can kind of get a good idea as to where rates are at as they head into the weekend, and then we'll update it every week. Is that cool?
Yeah.
Do you want to guess what the rates are?
No. I don't like this game.
Oh, you don't like it? All right. Well, so I'm going to give you our conventional
3.2.
5% down. Close. 3.25.
No, really? So close.
Yes.
I was so close.
So for our conventional rates based on a 720, you're going to be at 3.38 with an APR of 3.4. And then for our government loans, again at a 720 credit score, so VA is 100% financing, FHA is 3.5. We are at 3.25, not
Yeah.
3.2. 3.25 with an APR of 3.3. I priced out a jumbo because we've been seeing a ton of jumbo loans, which are over that 548. 720 credit score, 20% down, 3.63 on a 30-year fixed. And then for our down payment assistance, which is also posted daily, for the FHA, home is possible, 3% assistance. That rate today is 3.875. So I thought it would be kind of cool to do this every week so we can see the trend.
You know what would be really cool also is if you talk about some of the loan programs that you have available.
I could do that too.
Maybe do that every week, like just talk about, here's a loan program that you want to highlight that, you know, most people don't know about. I think that's important because it really does add another tool in your toolbox. The 203K, for instance, like when I tell agents about that, they're like, what? Our clients can actually get a home fixed. I mean, not in this market, but our house, you know, like our clients can actually get a home fixed up to what they want it to be after they close on it. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Or the cross collateral or like just some of the programs that you have, the teacher programs, you know, all of those, like maybe highlight one a week. What do you guys think?
I think it's a great idea. So I'll do a quick highlight on that renovation side of it because it's been helpful not only for purchases. I think it's been huge for purchases because limited inventory, right?
Yeah.
So people have to visualize what a home of what they want, what they're looking at on the homes that are available, how they can make those homes kind of their dream homes. And so using a 203K, which is you could get up to about $35,000 in really cosmetic renovations. You can use that program, and then we have full-blown renovation loans that you can use to, you know, maybe you want to tear down a pony wall. What our conventional renovation loan will actually add a pool into.
Oh, snap!
I know. So
that's
that
awesome.
has definitely been, and is something we could do for refinances. So I've had a lot of clients who are like, you know, we've been in the house for about a year and now we need an extra bedroom. You did a full renovation.
I did, but I didn't pull any money out.
Right.
I did it owner will carry.
But why did you do that? Why did you do the renovation?
I did the renovation because I was going to be living at home, right? And working from home. You know, it was funny. Somebody said to me, they're like, yeah, now we're working from home and living at work.
That's right.
Right. And so because of that, I'm just trying to I wanted the space that I was in to be, I don't know, something I enjoyed being in. Right. So I did a renovation. Of course, even today I'm like, ooh, I need to change this or I need to. So I actually just recently hired an interior designer.
Wow.
I think Beta's itching to get out of here. Are you itching to get out of here? You're like pacing. Stop pacing. You're making me nervous.
Do we need to call it?
No, I'm talking about my interior designer.
Okay.
Yeah, that's cool.
You got 5 minutes
I mean, it's
anyways.
like you knew the show happens every week, right?
Should have a backup.
Yeah. Where's your backup?
Same place I've bought
So I hired an
at.
interior designer because I did most of my house. Like I did everything, but it was like the small pieces that I just couldn't I bought these 2 chairs for my living room that I love, right? But nobody sits in them because they're too big and there's not enough room and there's too many pillows. Like it's comfortable, but it's not comfortable, if that makes sense. But it's also not, it doesn't make sense for my home because I entertain a lot. Well, I haven't lately, but when I do, I entertain a lot. So I wanted people to be able to be a part of everything.
Yeah.
I also have been looking for a dining table for the last, 3 years. So I had a basic one for many years and then I sold it last year. In fact, in April, I sold it, or right before I started my reno, I sold it because I did not want to put it back in the house. And so I thought I would find a new table. Well, I didn't, and so I've had no dining table. So I went to this house in Reverence, and I absolutely loved everything that was in there. And so I asked the listing agent, I said, did they decorate this house themselves? Did they design it and blah, blah, blah? She's like, no, they hired an interior designer. And I was like, can you please give me that person's name and number, or interior decorator? And so I got their information because I liked their style. And I said, here's what I need. Here's my non-negotiables. I just bought the, love sack. I'm not changing that couch. Work around the damn couch. It is probably one of our favorite places to just hang out, the kids and I.
Still want to check that place out.
Yeah, well, you will. It'll be done. So I actually ended up buying everything 2 days ago. I finalized all the new items in my home that'll get it. Except my table's coming at the end of this month, but my chairs don't come until the end of May.
Wow.
A lot of the stuff is being
July
custom
4th
built.
party.
Yeah, and so they're doing a couple of custom built type.
Fancy interior designer.
I know, right? No, I wanted things to be very specific, right? I was looking for an entertainment thing that would allow for my games. So we have a lot of games. Like we play a lot of games in my house. I have game nights with my friends. I have game nights with my kids. My kids have game nights with their friends. And so I wanted there to be a place where I could put all of that. Right now it's in 4 different places because I run out because we have so many
They're
games.
in your closets and
Every
stuff?
time, I mean, I think I was telling you, like there was a game that we played. It was the Neanderthal game.
Yeah, which none of us know, by the way.
Yeah. So
We're like,
but it's so much fun. My kids and I loved playing it. And so I was like we keep getting all these little games that we, go back to that's fun for them to play with their friends or me to play with our friends, right? And just different things.
Yeah.
So so I wanted a place. So the entertainment center had to have enough room to put all those games
it doesn't
in it.
come out from the couch and up.
It does not.
Is that the cool design?
It's just underneath the TV, right?
Oh.
But I have so
Still
much
cool.
room in between, and I have a subwoofer on the side. And they're like, well, we can build it to put the subwoofer in. I'm like, I don't want to do that. I'd like the subwoofer to stay on the side, and I want to be able to have the space. So ideally, I think what I'm going to do is go get 2 subwoofers for either side of the entertainment center, and then just have a taller entertainment center. Whereas right now I have a super short one. And then my bar, I've been looking for a
bar in
bar.
there?
No, so I have a bar in my living room
main room.
area,
Yes, you
right?
do. Yep.
But all my booze are exposed, and my kids are getting older, and I don't want that to be a thing. So I want to be able to lock them. So I want to be able to lock it away, but I also want to move my wine refrigerator into
That space.
that space. And so they're building me something that I can put the wine refrigerator in there. So it's
Wow.
all in one. All my booze are in one spot. So my living room is truly a living room.
Very cool.
So just little things like that. And apparently my weed that's been on the walls for, 15 years.
you have your weed on the wall?
Not weed, like not weed, but I mean like the
We
weed.
are exposed
They're like
today.
the weed, they're like wall hangings that's made out of oh my God.
Hemp.
No, not hemp.
Henna?
No, just weeds, or branches. Maybe I can say branches. I don't know.
I don't
know if it's
remember those being in your...
I'll show you.
Okay.
I'll show you. So I have to get rid of those. So I'm selling a lot of furniture. I'm trying to get rid of some of the old stuff so that I can make room for the new stuff.
So the renovation loans are not good for interior designing.
So what you're saying
But
is
they are good for how you did that full
Yeah, yeah.
side of it, and then you took it to a whole nother step in completely making your house like a model home. It sounds like
Yeah.
It'll be
well,
end
and
of
so
May.
that's what they were doing. And I was like, here's the problem with model homes. They always look pretty, but they're not practical,
Yeah,
right?
functional,
I
yeah.
want to be able to actually put shit inside of
Yeah.
my table or my
Yeah.
entertainment center. I don't need it to
agree on
look
that.
like, first of all,
aesthetic, though, a lot of it, right?
Nope. I don't need any of that shit. I just need things
Right.
to be put away. And so that was ideally what
I mean, a
was
lot of the
looking for,
TVs
so.
are even built. They're just like a piece of frame and then a black plastic thing on it. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So there's that. So yeah, so let's talk about some loans for next time. We'll
Okay.
keep that in our mix. We can't even end the show because Beta's gone.
But
so
we did it. We made
will.
it to
We
2:30.
did. We had way more than
yeah.
enough stuff to talk about.
I
It was
know. We could
great.
still
It was
keep
wonderful.
going.
Yeah, we could.
But really, what happened to Valerie is a big question.
So I don't know. Valerie is too drunk from yesterday. You know what's really cool though is that Real Estate Exposed ate the Weekender. Did you guys hear this?
No,
Let's talk about
I was
that for a
actually
minute.
here last
Because
week when I found out that we ate them.
Yeah, so I wasn't here, and I found out yesterday because I'm doing some videos I'm recording so that I can put them on my YouTube channel. And Beta's like, yeah, we can do them right after Real Estate Exposed. I said, yeah, but you have the Weekender. He goes, yeah, not anymore. And I went, oh my God, we ate it.
Can you believe that?
We ate the Weekender.
They couldn't handle being back to back against us.
I know.
So they just decided to shut it down.
This is what happens when we say challenge accepted,
Yep.
mothers.
See, our content lasts longer, and
And we're still here.
we're still here. Right.
Right?
What episode would this be?
Yep.
When did we start?
Okay.
No, really. When did we
It's
start
been a
back?
year.
Has it been a year doing this? No.
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
We didn't. Okay. I don't believe you.
Probably. Possibly. I don't know. I think so.
Feel it has been
Hey, Beta, I think we're out of time.
a few months.
We don't know. I mean, we could continue talking. It's not a big deal. I mean, I'm done. We should just leave the stage and just let this be
that
a
be
thing and be like, bye.
We're gonna go
I think
see
we're
the,
good. So don't forget, you have to.
You have to like and subscribe and make sure that you smash that notification button. Psh, But also do this. Listen, we're trying to grow our viewership. Make sure that you take the information and share it all across all of your social media platforms. That'll help us grow and also be able to provide more content and information to your friends and family. Here he is.
Oh, we were just going to end it and leave it like an empty
Media.
stage for you and just be like, we're done.
And everybody, that is a wrap.
That is a wrap.
Happy
Thanks so
Easter
much.
to everyone.
Bye. Happy Easter.